Focus Studio. This morning we will be practicing the Yin format of yoga. So that's slower, more meditative, but very opening positions. So let's come onto your mat, have a seat, and you'll notice that I have several props with me. So whatever you have available, we'll come into that posture where if you bring one leg bent in and the other leg is out straight. And it can be right where that foot is up against your knee or your inner thigh. And then just take a deep breath and set and pause. Maybe reach the arms wide. Pause here and just let yourself feel supported in your spine and balanced on your right and left sit bones. So see if you can feel into that sensation. Many times if there's tightness in what would be maybe your right leg, right there, you might have it lifted a little bit, and that's okay. If you need to use the block for support, use that block under there. Give yourself a little bit of support. Okay, you can also, a blanket or a pillow would stuff in there really nicely. Then just bring the arms up and maybe just notice them. Maybe you sit a little taller, but always drop those shoulders down. Bring your hands into your heart center and we'll pause here. Take a deep breath and then just be aware of the position of the legs being different. So without just jumping right into where your mind thinks I'm going to take you, I want you to pause, right? So when we start to move into a position, just set in it for a minute and just be aware of what's happening, because that's the big part of yoga. Take that deep breath, notice where you're tight, if it's maybe down the front of that quad. As you take that deep breath in, then slowly and fully let your breath exhale out. And as you exhale out, just be aware. Let that leg relax. So as you come into that awareness and you just allow yourself to be. And then slowly, I want you to lean forward where you feel maybe your sit bones scooting out from underneath of you. And that changed what the sensation is. So your pratyahara, the sensation of the posture, because the posture affects us physically and also mentally. As soon as that shows up and you're thinking, ow, maybe that's what you're thinking, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, see if you can release and relax that part that you felt the tension in. Bring your hands just gently right in front of your leg. Keep your awareness on the position of the left and the right leg, or your right and left, and just pause there. Maybe walk your hands out one step further. Take a deep breath and then exhale. Let your hips, feel those sit bones sink down. Feel the position of your spine, your thoracic spine. See if you can keep it straight, as if you're pushing your heart forward. And then walk your hands over to that shin of what would be maybe your left leg. So if you're opposite that I am. And then flex your foot just a little more, like you're bringing your toes back towards your knees. Take that deep breath and then slowly let it release. Notice the difference. Take another breath, and can you maybe slide your hands down the leg? And there's not a specific destination of that journey. So just pause there. Just notice the sensation on that other side. Take that deep breath again, pausing here. And then slowly come all the way up. And then we'll pause right there, bring your arms out wide, take a deep breath. And then slowly we'll exhale as you twist. And then come back center and then twist to the other side. And then come back center. Bring the arms up. And then hands come down through your heart center. I know you wanted to move a little bit, right? Bring your hands forward, and right here I want you to see if you can walk your hands out. And maybe your elbow rests on your foot. Maybe your hands are just here. But then notice the spine. And we will sit here now as we breathe in and out. Take that deep inhale through your nose. Feel into the sensation of the breath. Exhale the breath out. Pause and hold. Can you drop into those elbows a little further? Now, wherever you're at is just fine. And if you have a block and you wanted to use that block in front of you and put your elbows right there on that block, or a pillow or a rolled up towel. So all kinds of props that we have. And then just notice the difference in your right hip and your left hip. Notice the sensation along the back side. So right now, what would be my bit leg is my left, which would probably be your right, opposite to me, is that you may feel a little deeper sensation stretching through that hip. So draw the breath into that area, or visualize as if you're drawing the breath into that area. And then as you exhale, can you let go of that tension? Let it go, let it release. We tend to hold tension in our hips, neck, and shoulders. So anything that stresses us out, you might feel your hips or your shoulders tighten up, the neck tighten up. So let go, and right there talking about the neck, maybe just gaze downward. So find your shoulders and neck in a position where they're loose, they're relaxed. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, notice if that sensation has dissipated a little bit in your hip. Maybe the sensation that was showing up in the leg. And then if you need to deepen that sensation, flex that foot of that long leg. Just gently flex it. Take a deep breath, and again exhale, noticing whatever showed up. So maybe you felt that IT band on the outside of that long leg. Maybe you just felt the hamstring. So we're all different, we're all unique. So you'll feel sensations and the stretches in different ways. Pausing there, take that next breath, and then slowly exhale. And now walk your hands back in. Ooh, sit up tall because we work bent forward. So always be aware of the position of the spine. So the leg that was bent will now take that leg all the way out. Ooh, you feel that unfolding sensation. So wherever there's compression, yeah. So let that leg come out and now bend the other one in or fold it in. And again, we have to find this side, how it responds to the posture we're putting it into. Again, that knee, if it's up too high and it needs support, put your block under it. You'll notice that each side is a little different. So go ahead and use that support. Take your arms out nice and wide right there. Open your palms, stretch your fingers and your palms out. Feel the core, support your spine. Take that deep breath again and then slowly move the arms upward. And then bring the hands down through your heart center. If your hip is relaxed enough, let it just be. Notice the weight in both sit bones. You're sitting level. Bring your hands in front of you. Now notice the position of your spine. Pull the shoulders back. So retract the shoulders back and drop the scapula down the spine. Your neck is in a neutral position, so your gaze can still be straight forward or out in front of you. Just pausing there for a moment. And then walk your hands out one step. And then notice, did that knee lower when you walked out that step, but then what's the position of your upper back and your spine? The sensation should feel as if you're pushing your chest between your arms, push through the arms. It changes the position of your spine, and maybe it also affects how you're sitting on each sit bone. So just remembering each side is different. Again, we can scoot that block in front of you, and we can try to find that position on the elbows. So the block just brings the floor up to us. I like that. So we'll pause here and just again notice your right hip, your left hip, your right shoulder, your left shoulder. The position of your shoulders in relationship to your neck and your ears. Your gaze can come downward. Take a deep breath. Exhale the breath out. Staying completely aware of each component of the body, of the breath. As you inhale now, you'll exhale and you'll try to release and relax wherever you feel tension. If you have a need to deepen the stretch, you're on your elbows and maybe you flex that foot a little more. So now you draw your focus into that long leg. Take that deep inhale again and exhale it out. And while this seems like a very simple stretch, there's a lot happening. You know, some people might be able to be on their elbows or even their arms reaching way out. But I find the majority of the population will be here, or with the elbows on the block. And you know that block does work in two directions. So this gives you a little more height. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Feel yourself relax and release. And then slowly bring the hands over to that shin. Then notice what happened to that bent leg, if there was movement there. Take another deep breath, exhale, slide down that leg, and if you'd like to flex that foot with that slide, flex that foot. Notice again the right and left positions of the hips. Take a breath, let that breath come in, let it dissolve, and then exhale. Release. Slowly slide your hands all the way up. Extend both legs in front of you. With both legs in front of us, we'll pause right there. Just gently let both hands slide down your legs. No destination to that journey. Take a deep breath there. Your feet are relaxed. The ankles are relaxed. Maybe gaze at the feet. Look at the position of them. Is your foot slightly rotated inward, the big toe coming in? And then can you activate through the feet, flexing the feet, pulling the big toe, little toe back towards your knee. Take a deep breath. Breathe into it whenever you feel that sensation show up, right? Where you're wanting to leave, take a deeper breath. And then slowly come all the way in and up. Now come into your easy sitting position. Sukhasana. So many times I have students show up and Sukhasana is not an easy sitting position. Yes, so now bring your hands, palms up. Place your index finger and your thumb together. Take a deep breath, sit tall. Push your chest out just a little bit and let those shoulders just melt down your backside. Right there, just be aware of that. Your easy sitting position may feel a little easier now that we did the stretch that we preceded it with. No, and some of the allergies are flaring up, so my voice is crackling a little bit. Apologize about that. So take that deep breath, let it go. And then bring yourself over onto your hands and knees into table posture. And in your table, we'll gently place your hands, noticing that the wrist lines up directly beneath the shoulder and your knees are directly beneath the hips. And then maybe just let the hips swag to one side and to the other. And let's take a nice hip circle. So you'll circle around. You'll come center and then circle the other way. Just at your own time, breathe into it. Let's do one more to each side so you can make that as small or as large as you feel like you need to. But just don't hurry it. We're not in a hurry today, right? It's fall. We need to slow down a little bit. Take a cat and a cow right there, nice and slow. Exhale as you round up, tuck the chin, the tailbone, and then inhale, let the tailbone and the head rise as you feel that sway or arch through your back. Come back to neutral and step your knees wide. When your knees are wide right there, now gently begin to press yourself back. Just notice the response of your knees. If it's not ready, come back up and then slowly press back. Can you come into that wide knee child's pose tadpole? Slide your arms forward, place the forehead down on the mat. Take a deep inhale and exhale here as your forehead rests on the earth. Take another breath, let the arms relax even though you feel them stretching forward. And now you feel into the length. So noticing your spine.
From the tailbone, which is anchored back towards your heels, an area of the middle part of your body, between the pelvis and the rib cage. And now specifically notice that thoracic region, where all the ribs come together on your back side. And we always talk about the scapula and the movement of the scapula. Take a deep breath and can you let that area just relax? Almost feel as if your heart is pressing forward. Where your heart maybe communicates with the grounding sensation of the earth. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Again, just keep scanning through the body. As you draw the breath in, scan as that breath comes in. And then exhale and just release, let go. We hold tension many times in muscles or areas, and when we come into a posture, recognizing where are you holding tension. Can you allow it to let go, relax and release? And breathing in, feel the expansion of the diaphragm as you inhale and the contraction as you exhale. Then lift your forehead and we'll walk your hands off to the side. So I walked off to my right side, which if you're facing me, that would be your left. So think of let your right hip become heavy, where I'll let my left hip become pretty heavy. So it's anchoring back. Your hip, the sit bone wants to reach towards your heel as we take that nice little side stretch right there, gentle. Take one more breath and then slowly, this is our in-between move, just to prepare us for moves that we'll do later. Walk off to the other side right there. And again, let the head just find a space right there between your arms. And sit back heavy in my right hip and your left hip. And then just noticing as you stretch through that side, maybe your right side has had a different sensation than the left side. And that's okay, just give it a breath, let it go. So while we have that moment of thought, I want you to use your breath to allow the mind to allow the body to relax. So sometimes there's tensions of our mind that are holding, we need to let them go. So this is the fall time of year, things cool down, right? So maybe you feel a little bit of stiffness sometimes in areas of your body. Come back to your child's pose, take a deep breath, exhale, press down, take 2 more breaths there. Notice if it changed when you came back to this position from when you were here a minute ago. And then slowly we'll rise up to find our table position again. Once you come in and under for table, we will step your right hand, my left hand forward. And I want you just to, nothing fancy here, we're just going to take and slide that left arm under, lowering yourself gently to your shoulder and the side of your head. And as you gaze under that arm, and we take that deep inhale and exhale, and you just let go of that left shoulder. Just feeling into that rotation through the thoracic spine. And as you take your next breath, notice if your hips tended to shift to one side or not. Right? So can you pull them back and center them? Sometimes it's maybe a 1/16 of an inch that they moved, but move them back. Just being aware of those subtle little movements that we do. If this is too much on that arm that's forward, you can always let that elbow come down. So yeah, take the modification. Most of the time, modifications come naturally to us. So just go with what your body suggests, other than exiting the posture. Yeah, a little bit of humor right there, right? So now slide that extended arm, so that's my left, it'd be your right, in, and lift yourself all the way up. All right, so now let's just take a little bit of a reset arm out, maybe turn it up, and then back down. Same thing on the other side, sliding side 2 arm forward, and we'll take that arm and just reach it under, threading it through, gently placing your head down Or maybe the shoulder does not touch the mat, and that's okay. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, can you let yourself settle into the posture? Take another breath, deep inhale, exhale, settle in. And then look at your awareness, right? So we want the sensation, your pratyahara, we want your awareness. Yeah, what's showing up here on this side? Bringing those hips center, just noticing as you scan through the body and you breathe in and out. Take another breath, and then let's bring that arm gently through. We'll walk both hands back. Let's come out of our arms, sit back onto your heels. If you need to sit on your block right there, you can also sit on that block. Now, you know my joke is that it's different than sitting on that spinning bike seat, yeah. It's kind of a narrow sit, but it'll help with your knees. So we'll just pause there for a moment. Let your arms dangle down to the sides. Maybe just give it a little wiggle, right? A little wiggle jiggle, a little oscillation. And then let's come back into our table position. So our table position right here, we'll pause there. And we'll take your right hand and step it forward and bring your left arm across. I want to really focus on your thoracic spine because I see so many people that are rounded in that part of your spine. So we're in what's called quarter dog. It would be your left arm forward, your right arm crosses the mat, place your forehead on that arm, and then your hips are stacked up over your knees, and you may feel the tailbone turn up, so your pelvis just moves in a posterior direction. Pause there. Feeling the sensation that it gives you in your thoracic area of your spine, because that's a focus right now I want to draw your attention to. We spend so much of our day where we're rounded forward, and rounding forward makes us get into a kyphotic position. And we want to not become that old lady or that old man in the grocery store that has that either Dowager's hump or that rounded kyphotic position. Take a deep inhale, exhale. Right there, feel into the sensation of the arms and the shoulders. I know we've done several things with your arms and shoulders, but we started out with your legs and hips, and we'll go there after this. So just knowing just a few more breaths here. Again, that arm is extended. My elbow is not on the mat, but if that makes it better for you, put that elbow down on the mat. Allow the mind just to relax and again scan through the body as you breathe in and out. If you need to tighten the core gently, so the area in the front of the body of your navel to support that lower back, you are welcome to be there too. So sometimes one side is compressed, the other side is stretching. Sometimes we have to put a little bit of muscle tension in the core just to help you support you in a proper position. Then slowly we'll lift the head, slide that long arm in, come to your elbows, sit back, and then we'll come forward, sitting up side two. As you bring the arm across, the other arm forward, lower your forehead to that forearm. Take that nice long reach. Yes, that arm that's reaching. Yeah, there's a lot happening right there. Sometimes in the cold weather, as I mentioned, we seem to feel like our muscles are tightening up, especially maybe as you get a little bit older. You know, it might, maybe that's more, I notice it more. So just take that deep inhale and exhale and just let yourself relax, release, let go in that shoulder, let go in that arm. Feel into the position of your spine. Again, as you inhale, where are your hips in relationship to the spine and the neck? Notice from the sacrum all the way up through the cervical. Take that deep inhale, exhale, again, noticing in the thoracic spine. There should be a little more emphasis there that you feel the weight of it pulling you downward. And then maybe notice that your ribcage, when you inhale, the diaphragm expands. So keeping your focus here on your mat inward. So the fall season is a time of letting go and releasing. So if we feel tension, we need to find a space to allow ourselves to let go and release. Let go of what is that tension. Maybe it is the fullness in the body. So doing nice stretching motions, opening the body. Deep breath, exhale it out. Take another deep breath. Let go and release the body and the mind. Take one more breath here and then slide that arm in. Or come up into your table and you can set back if you want to be in child's pose or in hero pose, whichever resting or transitionary position works for you. Or let those arms just go. So even if you're in child's pose, just let your arms relax wherever you are. Then help yourself over to a seated position again. So we'll take, it'll be my left leg will come forward, so it might be your right, and your left one will be turned back. So this, again, I want you to become aware of your sit bones. So are you truly sitting into the sit bone where that leg is turned back? Or are you sitting heavier on this one? Just notice that. Be aware of it. Then the ankle, if the ankle turns back, that's fine. And if your ankle is better with that foot turned out, that's fine too. We're all different. And then I'm going to bring that long leg out just a little bit. So we don't want to be too wide. We don't want the knee way out there. We want the knee so you're within the frame of your mat. And then just pause, take a deep inhale breath, exhale. Can you sit heavier into that right, left leg? Okay, so some of you might have that mobility to where we could take your hands back, and I'm going to put my hand in a position where the fingers are towards your hips. Reposition here just a little bit. And yes, I put a block behind my back. That doesn't mean I'm going to use it. It's just there. So right here, when I push back, let your shoulders pull back and then push your chest upward. Feel into that sensation first. Move into a posture knowing every piece that has to go there, right? Every thing that moves. So you push your chest up and you bring your head back just a little bit, like as if you were going into a fish pose. Pause there. Feel into that sensation. Be aware of any changes as you move gently that happen in your leg. And now, bend your elbows just a little bit. Feel yourself coming back. Feel into the sensation of that leg. Feel into the sensation of that knee joint. If it's saying this is not for you, then sit here with it. Right here is perfect. There's so much happening in both sides. Okay, as you ease yourself back, your elbows need to stay turning or squeezing into your spine.
And as you come back, you bend your elbows, and maybe now you're touching that block that was behind you. And then push yourself back up. Yeah? Maybe we're working our arms a little bit. However, we were stretching them a minute ago. So let's just go with that. Bend your elbows a little bit. And those of you all that have already been here or that you can come all the way back, just go back. However, don't be looking at your neighbor, right? This is on YouTube, so you don't look at your neighbor. So if you can make it back there on that block, you have that block for support, and you can let your head come back, and then you're in more of a fish pose with your upper body. Or if you're laying all the way back on the mat, that's a great place too. So as I said, we're all unique. Our bodies are different. So take that deep breath and just be with your body where it needs to be. Take another deep breath, and as you pause there, and if for some reason you are working over the edge, beyond the edge, work up to the edge, don't work beyond it. In case you went there and you need to back out of it, just come back up here with me. I'm just going to sit right here and focus on the sit bones. So there's different components in that stretch where we need to focus. So not pushing yourself too far. 80% is wonderful. 110% is sometimes not where we need to be. Take a deep inhale, breath, and exhale. Now, if you're laying back on the mat, slowly begin to walk yourself back up to your elbows, your hands, till you're back upright, just like I am here. Then take the hand, this would be your left, all right. It's going to come across the long leg. You're going to let your hips roll, and then come into your elbows right here, and then slowly let that leg come out. Earlier, I talked about that one side being compressed as the other side stretches. Roll yourself back up onto your hips. Ooh, right there, you feel that sensation. Take that deep inhale, breath, exhale, lean forward, and then all the way back up. So right there, we'll sit tall, let your kind of do a little windshield wiper with the legs. We're going to set up side two. So as you set up side two right here, again, notice the position your ankle needs to be in, your knee needs to be in, right? If it needs to be a little further, the lower part of the leg needs to be a little further out, or it's in, and that you're within the width of your mat. Take a deep inhale, breath, exhale. Can you sit into that hip? Because that hip, we want it to become heavier. And then just pause and notice where you're at. Maybe do a little flex and point with your ankle. And then we'll bring the hands back behind you. So again, I have that block back there. My hands are on each side of the block, so I know where it is. And I'm just going to lean back right here, maybe lift the chest up, let the chin retract a little bit. Take a deep breath, pause there. As you notice that sensation has increased in the leg. So down the quad, the IT band, maybe you even notice in your shin because of the way that leg is rotated. So we want to focus on all the small things that happen. So Yin is a great place for you to deepen your awareness of your movement in your body, your breath, right? And then right here, let's just kind of bend your elbows a little bit. Just like you were inviting the depth into that stretch. And if it's not wanted, then push yourself right back up out of it. And so in a way, we're asking your body, does it need or want to go here? Right? Maybe it wants to, but it doesn't need to. So again, just drop back a little bit. Pause and hold there. Is that tolerable or not? Take a deep inhale and exhale, or does it feel like that, we can also cause damage by pushing ourselves too much. And if you're able to come back or even rest on that block, you can go there. And if that's not where you need to be, just stay here. And if you're here and you just want that block to be next to you so that you can sit upright on those hips. Well, this is, there's a lot happening in this stretch, just seated in this position. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And this is an awkward rotation for the knee to be in. So that's why I want you to be very mindful of how deep you go with it. Now take a few more breaths, see if you can sit a little bit taller. Let yourself press into those sit bones or try to balance them out. Not forcing anything. And then slowly, I'm going to bring my hands across the body, nice and gentle. And right there, my awareness of what's happening in that knee. Let yourself come down, maybe into your elbows, roll, roll, roll. And then let that leg slowly come all the way down. And as we come back up, flex your feet, point your toes, maybe a circle. Right, so wherever there was compression and we decrease the flow of blood through the body, now we want it activated. Reach down the leg, come back up the leg. Let's take your side one leg. We'll do a little stretch there, out and back in. Place the heel down, bring the other one in, give it a little stretch out and in, and we'll place it down. So I'm going to go sideways on my mat with you, and we'll pause there. We'll take your hands around the knee and just sit tall. Can you push your belly into your legs, right? And now take your hands and bring them under that knee. Sit tall, let your shoulders roll back. Lean back, right there. There's a little strength in your core, and then slowly roll yourself down as you slide your hands to your seat. Keeping the knees bent. So right here, we're on our mat. We're going to bring the leg in. Bring the knees all the way in. Extend your legs straight up. Flex the feet. Drop that little toe. Look at the ankle, the wrinkles in your ankle. The ankles in your wrinkle. Okay. Pausing there. We'll bring your right knee in. We'll pause and hold it. Bend that left. Put the left foot back down on the floor. Cross the ankle over the knee. And now let that knee become heavy, like it's pushing out. But notice if your hips tend to swag one way or the other. So again, we're right back into that hip opening. Taking that deep inhale and exhale. Now, if you have that block, and you can scoot that block in right there between the more or less supporting foot, then I want you to hop that foot up onto that block. And I'll just stay right here. You know, unless you want to take this leg and pull it in, and we're in a supine pigeon style of pose. So we feel that piriformis muscle opening. As you're there, you take a deep inhale and exhale. Take one more deep breath. And then slowly bring that foot back down. Oops. Got a jam up going on right there. And let that leg slide across. Oh, new sensation, yes. So I'm going to take that block, and since I can reach it, I'm going to scoot it out to so my right leg is on the top, crossed over. And I'm going to put the block out to the right side and take the knees and let them come over and find the block.
And then I'll bring my arms across my body right here. Just let the arms rest. Feel into that sensation coming down the side, through the hip. And since we're in a bound angle, you feel that continue right on down this outside of the leg around the hip. Take that deep inhale and exhale. So physiologically, it takes 30 seconds for your body's reactions to actually release the substance, to let go once you come into a stretch. So if you fidget or constantly move, you never get that sensation of that release. So no matter what your practice is, yin or yang, vinyasa flow, you have to come into the posture and fully realize where you're at. Take that deep breath and sink in. It takes 30 seconds, so half of a minute, for your body to relax. Once it releases that chemical substance to allow the muscles to relax, then you need to be there, to be present and aware. So then we hold it for a little longer. So actually a minute, but in Yin Yoga we're holding it for longer than a minute. So as you breathe in and out, because we want to then go deeper. In Yin Yoga, we want to go into the connective tissue, which tends to be more of like, in philosophy terms, more of a plastic tissue. And a plastic tissue takes a little more to stretch. So we have to hold it for longer. So we allow things to let go. And as you breathe and let go, as you breathe in and as you exhale, it's like as if you're melting, let everything release. Then slowly, we'll bring the legs back up. Ooh, sometimes, yeah, we've been there and we're like, ooh. Then let's slowly let that leg straighten out. Notice it's almost like it's uncoiling, and then let the legs windshield wiper. Side two, we'll place the foot in. We'll take the other leg up. And then we'll bend that knee. We'll take the ankle across the knee. And you'll pause there. And I'm just going to scoot my block right in there between my heel and my hip. And this is a taller block. Here's some blocks in that other one. And then we'll bring your foot up onto that block. You can adjust and walk under your foot. And if you want to bring that leg all the way in and hug it, you can. But making it nice and simple and just gentle, because that's how we want our yin practice. So yes, did it take time to be able to be here and settle into a posture? Yeah, the mind is always going. Movement is one of those things. Let's move, move, move. That's why we need yin. We need yin so we can slow down, embrace the subtleness of movement where we're at. Take another deep breath. We'll pause. Yes, I did a little rotation with my ankle because I have a sensation going on there. So I'm being very mindful and aware of the movement I'm making. So just as long as it's not fidgeting. Then take a deep breath and let go. Let that leg feel as if it were maybe pushing out a little bit, but then feel into the position of your hips. Are the hips moving too, sliding on your mat? Deep breath, exhale it out. And then I'm just going to put my foot down and slide that block over as I slide the leg across. And so we'll set up for that twist. And then we'll gently bring both legs over. If they weren't ready to go there and you tested the water and you came back for some reason, that's okay too. Then gently just let them come over. And if they don't make it to the block, that's fine too. And then just do remember the block can go move into a taller position. And then each side can be different. So just being aware of the difference in the sides. We can take your arm across. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Bring your awareness to that attention. Draw the breath into it. Exhale, relax, release the breath and the tension. So keep that breath coming in, let go, let it release and relax. And take a few more breaths there, see if you can let go. Wow, just slowly let's bring the legs back up. And we'll uncross. And let the legs extend out. With the legs all the way out, bring your arms by your ears. Take a big inhale breath, take a big stretch. Exhale and let go. Let the feet fall out. Bring your awareness to your scapula on your back. And then take the arms, fingertips touching above the head. Just gently. And then bring the arms open, like as if you were coming to 1 and 11 on the clock. From 1 and 11, we'll go to 2 and 10. Back of the hand is down. And then gently move towards 3 and 9. And then all the way down to your sides. Don't pause there. Take a deep inhale, exhale, close your eyes. And for the next few moments, we'll just focus on your breath. As you draw your breath in and you trace through your body, you trace to any areas where maybe you're feeling the residual effects of the stretches. Take another breath in, again, scanning through your body. But that's our awareness. Our awareness is where we focus on the breath, drawing it in, slowly exhaling the breath out. Just allowing yourself to relax and release. To be present in the body, present to the breath. And whenever you're ready, roll yourself to your side. Take 2 breaths there and pause. And then gently bring yourself back up to your easy sitting position. And we'll pause there. We'll bring your hands into your Anjali Mudra, sitting tall. Take a deep breath. Exhale the breath. Namaste.
www.movementfocus.com.